Welcome to Solo Pro Radio. It's the only resource for self-employed professionals to grow their business. I'm Barbara Saunders, the Solo Pro Success Coach, and it's my mission to help brilliant creative solo pros go from floundering to flourishing. And I do that as the director of the International Association of Self-Employed Communication Professionals and as the founder of the Solo Pro Academy, where I have programs focused specifically on helping solo pros build a profitable, custom-fit business. Swing on by soloprosuccess.com and pick up your free Income Accelerator Success Kit. If you'd like to join us, zip over to Solo Pro Radio on Facebook and like our page. You'll be able to ask questions, get to know our co-hosts, and find resources to help you connect and grow. My show today is called Set Your Money Goals. You know, people get really, really overwhelmed and confused by the word marketing. What does marketing mean? I can tell you, I was a marketing director back in the 90s for a large corporate company, and marketing has changed in the last decade. It doesn't mean what it used to mean before. It doesn't mean advertising and pushing out your message all over the place. It means communicating. What do you communicate? Well, what you do, to who you do it for. But before you can start that, you need to set some goals. And let's be honest, the reason we're in business is because we want to make money. So we're going to talk about setting and reaching some money goals today. And I'm going to give you a really clear, clean, easy 4-step approach to your solo pro income generation. First of all, I want to really, really acknowledge you for listening today and tuning in to Solo Pro Radio because your time's valuable and you're investing in you. Why are you doing this? Because when solo pros take control of their business, they can create their very own economy, irregardless of what's going on outside. You are in the right place, especially today. If you feel like you're always too busy, but you're never really earning enough, if you feel like you have this never-ending task list, but really few paying clients, and you feel like you're still in that dollars for hours business model, we want to get you out of that. Here's what I'm going to be talking about today. First of all, I'm going to give you a checklist of busy work. If you recognize yourself, realize that there's hope, and be aware of it. Next, I'm going to give you an exercise to do a really quick reboot to get you into that magical solo pro CEO mindset. And then we're going to talk about the 4-step roadmap to set and reach your income goals in easy to do chunks. And then I've got a special gift and a resource for you. So first of all, let's talk about this old formula, the dollars for hours model. It does not work. Let me share with you my experience. I started my primary business, which was a publishing design company, more than a decade ago. And originally, I worked with an old SCORE volunteer from the Small Business Administration. SCORE are senior executives who have retired, and they're volunteering to help new businesses start. Now, this little guy tried to show me how to project my income and how easy it was deciding just which widget you're going to sell, how much it costs to make this widget, and then how many widgets you have to sell to make income. Well, I wasn't selling widgets. That formula doesn't work, especially for service-based businesses. You know, bless his little pointed head, he tried so hard. He completely ignored the fact that I wasn't in the business of widgets. I was selling a service and expertise. You know, he just talked about margins and spreadsheets, meaningless stuff for a solo pro that's selling their service, their knowledge, and their expertise. Like so many other solo pros, I initially got trapped into that dollars per hour business model, which is really no different than creating a job for yourself. Only you're also responsible for all the administration, the marketing, the maintenance, etc. Until I uncovered this new method of determining and then generating income, this method also allowed me to multiply the amount I was able to make as well. That's the method I'm going to share a little bit with you today. First of all, busy work. You know, when you're in a job, quote-unquote job situation, many times you get kind of used to doing busy work so you look busy for the boss.
But that doesn't really serve you in your own business because you, are the boss. You don't want to get trapped behind time wasters like busy work. Let's identify a couple of them. One is fine tuning. That's tweak. I know so many clients who like tweak their intake forms, their contracts, minutia, admin, continually tweaking and refining and editing. You know, that's not going to serve you as a business owner. You need to aim for completion, not perfection, and get things out. The only way you get paid is by getting stuff out there. So aim for completion, not perfection. Next is what I call the cubicle mindset, where the solo pros treats their business as if it were a job. And what I mean by that is waiting for your client to tell you what to do, when to do it, what they need, what they want. That's not their job. The client is someone who needs help. And it's your job as the solo pro CEO of your business to develop those solutions, to look ahead, read the trends, see what's going on, and create the solution that the client needs. And then provide that solution for the client. The client's not your boss, they're your client. Another huge time waster for solo pros is a lack of focus. Going in too many directions at once. Too many ideas, too many directions, too many shiny objects. Trying to fill too many jobs at once. An example might be the person you've all met them at those networking events where they come up and tell you that, hello, I'm a copywriter, or I'm a bookkeeper, and I also sell Avon and Shackley and Herbalife, and I'll mow your lawn too. You know, you've seen those people. Don't be those people. You also might be one of those people who has just so many projects going on that never quite get completed. Maybe they're working on a book, and maybe they're working on some presentations and some speeches, and maybe they've got another audio project and this video works. Don't be that person. That's a time waster. And it shows there's really nobody in control. There's nobody driving the bus. Another huge time waster that solo pros get really drug into, I call it the hiding out syndrome. Fear of stepping up into a new level of success. Now, we might hide out with social media, that's easy to do, or networking, or constantly tweaking your resumes or marketing material instead of really getting out there and talking about what you do, or drilling into what you do. Many times, hiding out can take the form of remaining a generalist when you know you need to specialize. For example, maybe you're a graphic designer who says they're going to do web design and print design, and maybe, if they can get it some billboards, or, maybe they'll do some resumes on the side for people looking for work. That's hiding out because you're not claiming your specialty. When I started my primary business, which I told you was a publishing design business, I specialized in periodicals like magazines, annual reports, and newsletters. It took a year or two to really, really zero in on that specialty. I was one of those people who did just about everything that I could do. And here's a little tip. We're talking about money today, so it's important to really understand this. When you will do anything, people won't pay very much because they figure, you'll do anything, so you don't really have that much value. Experts command higher prices. It's just kind of the law of the land. So when you are hiding out, being a specialist, being a generalist, you're actually trapping yourself in those lower fees. So step up and be the professional, the expert that you are. And here's a little tip. Maybe you're not really feeling the expert level right now. That's okay. Pick the thing that you really feel like you're in the zone, that you're the best at, whether it's video or web design or, app design, whatever it is, and then become the expert at it. Do some research, do some training, and pretty soon you'll notice that you are the go-to expert. So stop hiding out. You can't build a business if you're hiding out. Here's another really, really cautionary tale. And I have to tell you, I have a photo here of this goofy-looking guy with a marker line cut across the top of his head, and he's taking his scissors towards it, and he's holding up a book that says, Do-It-Yourself Lobotomy. Okay? Don't do it yourself. There are some things that you just must get help in, and focus on your brilliance. This goes back to the hiding out. Figure out what your brilliance is and be brilliant at it. Get help with the other things. Trying to do everything yourself, from your website to the cleaning the toilets, is counterproductive, and it's sabotaging your business. For example, if you're not a web designer or you're not a programmer, don't take the time to learn HTML or CSS or Java or jQuery. That's a waste of your time. If you're an expert at bookkeeping, do the books and hire someone. Even if you have to, I'm a big proponent or against trades. But if at the beginning, when you really don't have any cash flow, get someone to help you with your website. If you have to do a basic trade at the beginning, do that. Do not waste your time, because it will take you weeks to learn HTML, and you'll get it wrong and you won't do it well. It will take someone who is an expert at it 15 minutes, and they will do it right and do it well. It really is worth more just to have someone else do it for you. And it just takes the stress off of you. Here's another time waster in our checklist that I want you to be aware of. I call it shotgun networking. That's where you're going to tons of networking events, chamber meetings, leads groups, social and community groups, and you only go maybe once or twice, or maybe not very often, so nobody really gets to know you. And you don't really know who's showing up there. You're just going to collect business cards. That's a waste of your time. I know you feel like you're doing something. I know that you kind of feel like, well, I'm busy, I'm moving, I'm shaking. You're not. You're wasting your time. It's shotgun marketing. You're just kind of out there pulling the trigger. Clarify your niche. Clarify, again, who you really, really work with best and who you have the perfect solution for. And then spend that time and energy networking strategically. I'm going to tell you a little depressing fact, and that is, we only have so much time on this planet, and not one of us knows exactly how much time we have left. So we don't want to waste that time going places that aren't going to maximize our effort. For example, and I found this out for myself by doing exactly the same thing. I wouldn't be telling you they're wasters of time if I didn't do it myself. I used to go to every networking activity there was, and they tend to be, well attended by, real estate agents, insurance agents, mortgage people. They're not going to do work with me. They're not going to hire me for anything. They just want to get my name on their newsletter list or get my business card so they can try to sell their services to me. That is not a good use of my time. And don't kid yourself that they're going to make a great referral partner. They don't understand what you do. They can't represent you as well as you can. Make sure, make a commitment to yourself that you're going to find out who your ideal niche is, who your ideal clients are, where they're hanging out, and you, the best representative of your business is you. You show up there. You be the expert. You answer their questions. Use that time really well. And here's the last really big time waster on our checklist here. And that's unclear goals. Just putting out fires every day with no real clear goal on where you're going or what you want to do or what you want to accomplish really is a huge time waster. Knowing exactly where you're going makes the journey easier. So we're going to talk a little bit about setting those goals. But first, you have to step into that CEO space for a moment. Let all of those little to-dos, like that checklist we just went through, let them fade away. And how do you do that? We're going to reboot your mind and activate your Solo Pro CEO operating system. Do that with me here. Take a few deep breaths to clear the clutter from your mind and see your business more as an entity. If you need to, go into another physical space so you're not distracted by email, the tasks that you're doing, or whatever else is in your office space, the clutter on your desk, the things on your walls. Sometimes we get so entrenched in what we're doing that we need to actually reboot into a new operating system when we switch into our CEO Solo Pro space. It's okay. Do what you need to get into that new space. It will help you make the necessary changes more quickly rather than trying to cut through the clutter that's in the way now. Doing this quick rebooting exercise once a month can be a really powerful way to change your business from struggling to thriving. Here's a rule in bold. While you're in this Solo Pro CEO operating system, you are not allowed to think in the old dollars per hour paradigm. So let's get a new point of view. Zoom out and look at the 10,000-foot view of your business. Review your business and set your goals often, like I said, once a month. Look at what's down the road in 90 days, 6 months, or next year. What do you want to happen? Do you want to do some speaking engagements? How do you prepare for those? Do you want to write a book, an ebook, or a new report to offer on your website? Where does that fall in this new viewpoint that you're looking at? And what do you need? What needs to take place in order for that to happen? For example, let's say you decided you wanted to do some speaking. Well, first of all, you'd need to get really clear on two things. One, who your ideal client is, who do you want to speak to, and number two, what do you want to talk to them about? Really knowing who you're talking to and the message that they need to hear. And I said that differently, and I want you to hear how I said it. What do they need to hear? Not necessarily what do you want to tell them. They need to hear something different than perhaps what you want to tell them. For example, maybe you know that they really need an entire website review and change if you're a web designer. But what they want to hear is, why are people not coming to my website? Why are people not buying from me? So you need to address what they want to hear first. So let's say you've got 90 days that you want to give this talk. Well, first you need to do some research into what their problems are, what they're complaining about. Listen to the words that they're saying and write those down, and then develop your message from there. Next, you're going to have to scope out, where are these people hanging out? Are there organizations, associations, business places, events that they're hanging out? Find those places and then identify the movers and shakers, the connectors in that area, because you want to be suggested as a featured speaker. And odds are you're going to have to present them with a speaker sheet that tells them about you and about your topic and why they should have you come speak. Don't just assume that they're going to want you to come because you offered to come or you asked them to come. Many times the planners really want, they're the gatekeepers, and they want to make sure that they're getting quality speakers who have something really valuable to offer to their members, because their members are investing either time or money or both. So you're going to need to sell yourself as a speaker. Why should they listen to you? Why should you come speak? Why you? What are they going to take away? So these are the things, the steps that you need to take in order to make that I want to speak come true. So let's move into these actual 4 simple steps to help you transform your time into money. It's very easy to say you got to do more marketing. But what does that mean? As I said at the top of the hour here, that the word marketing has really changed over the last decade. What it used to be back when I was a marketing director, that just doesn't work anymore. It used to be that marketing, and I'm putting air quotes around that, used to mean, sort of pushing out your message through a lot of different channels, whether it was advertising on the air, on TV, print advertising, whether it was pushing out coupons and shoving things at people. Marketing was a very aggressive activity. It doesn't work today. Let me share a little experience with you. Chris Brogan, who is a great marketer and expert in social media and has written several books, did a test, an experiment in the New York City airport, LaGuardia Airport. He put up hundreds of these rotating billboards that said, just by reading this billboard, you've won $1,000. Come pick up your check at the customer service desk. And he left it up for 48 hours. Not one person came to pick up that check. The result shows that people are just saturated by having messages shoved at them. Studies have shown that we're bombarded by at least 50,000 messages, marketing messages a day. So marketing is not pushing things at people. They're saturated. They're not listening. So we need to think differently about marketing. And in order to do that, we need to do a little bit of foundation work first. And that's what this show is all about today. We're going to talk about, transforming your time into money. But then how do you transform that into marketing so that you get that money? You've got to be really clear. Now, I've talked a little bit about specializing and about getting your niche. Let me ask you, if you were going to have a yard sale and you contacted the paper and said, I'm going to have a yard sale, and you put up a bunch of flyers all around town that said, we're having a yard sale, do you think you would have a whole lot of people show up? What does a yard sale say to them? Are you literally selling your yard? I've tried that. Nobody will buy my yard. Or what are you selling? What is the yard sale? Now, contrast that with, let's imagine that you want to have a yard sale, but the majority of what you're selling is actually this gorgeous kind of funky costume jewelry. That's something very specific, isn't it? And it brings to mind a certain group of people who would be interested in it. Maybe little ladies, maybe fashionistas. This tells you a lot about who you might be able to get that information to. Now it's not so much marketing as I want to share this really cool opportunity with you. These women, the fashionistas, maybe the little old ladies, they collect costume jewelry. And so they're eager to know about what you're trying to sell, costume jewelry. So let's say you found out where they were congregating There are tons of websites where fashionistas go to see what's available. There's all kinds of antique shows or antique stores that this is what they specialize in. Now, if you were to concentrate your efforts, maybe take a few snapshots of some of the jewelry that you got and put them up in those specific places, how much better would your turnout be? Because those specific people are looking for exactly what you're trying to sell. It's no longer push marketing, it's sharing. That's what marketing is about today. Marketing is getting the message about what you've got to the people who want it. It's not about pushing and conniving and getting the loudest noise out there. It's about sharing. So I want you to keep that in mind, especially as we move into our Money and Marketing Plan show. So how does that relate to your money? Well, if you get the right people in the door, all wanting your stuff, you get to charge more. And that's what a Solo Pro CEO is all about. Let's start talking a little bit about your money, because you've got to do it. When I talked about hiding out, this is one of the places that solo pros really tend to hide out. I don't want to deal with the money. So many times I hear my clients say, I don't want to reconcile my bank account because it's just so depressing. I put the bills away to the side because I just don't want to deal with money. You can't hide out from your money. It will chase you down. It will track you down. I promise. So let's start by gathering your numbers. You got to know your numbers and you got to get comfortable with them because, think about it. With some of my clients who are struggling with their money, I do a little exercise. And I tell them to think of their most favorite person. Or it could be their favorite pet, if they don't have a favorite person. Think of this favorite individual. What do they do for you? Why are they your favorite person or your favorite individual? It might be because they unconditionally love you. They're always there for you. They're fun. They're cute. They laugh at your jokes. Well, who are you in that relationship? You might be the caretaker. You might be someone who's taken care of by that person. But think about that relationship. Really dig into there and give yourself time to really kind of commune with that relationship. And then I want you to go back and change the name of that person or pet to My Money. And see how that really changes how you think about your money. You're the caretaker of it. It's always there for you as long as you take care of it. Some people really love gardening. And when we contrast, two gardens, for example, mine, I'm not a gardener. My garden tends to be horribly overgrown or dead. One or the other, there's no in between. But I have some neighbors who are wonderful gardeners. They're always out there tending their roses and their mums and all of these lovely, plants. Well, how does that make others feel? People kind of run past my yard, but they tend to stay and to linger in my neighbor's yards. They want to come in and sit down and spend some time with it. What's the difference between those two gardens? Really, they're both just dirt and plants. The difference is the relationship with the gardener. The gardener has a relationship with her garden. So what I'm trying to tell you is develop that relationship with your money. The more you spend with it, the more you get to know your numbers and understand where it's going and where it's coming from, the more it will flourish. And the more others will be attracted to it. So I want you to try this special exercise. Look back at last year's numbers and choose your 5 highest months, add them all together, and then divide by 5. So that's your high average. We're going to start with that. Now let's jump into these 4 simple steps. Keep that high average number in your mind. In step number 1, we're going to start out to set a money goal. Why? When you set a money goal, you get excited and it helps keep you engaged. This is how much money you'd like to earn. Make it daring. Really push the boundaries of what you think you can do. Do not revert to saying, I want to work so many hours. Don't do that. Don't go there. For example, if your high average for last year was $4,500 a month, you might say, I want to earn $5,000 a month this year. You might say, I want to earn $7,500 a month or $10,000, whichever number really gets you excited. Remember that we're going to be talking about marketing in a minute. Starting next week, we're going to be talking about your marketing plan. Your marketing plan is going to be the engine that gets you to that number. And remember that I said it's really only about sharing what you've got with the people who want it. So be bold with that number, because it just means you're going to be sharing more. Now let's talk about step 2. You've got your number down. Write it down and make it real. And here's a tip. Don't write, number shorthand. Some people will write like 5K to stand for 5,000. Put in all of the zeros. We don't want to shortchange you on any of those zeros. So you want to put in all the zeros, the little decimal point, and then the 2 zeros. That's all your money. So you want to write it all down. Don't do a shortcut. So here's step 2. Decide what you're offering. A specific, easy-to-describe package is easier to sell. Remember the yard sale example. What's a yard sale? It could be very different to different people. It could be old clothes. It could be dirty old mattresses that are moldy and stained. Or it could be gorgeous treasures like costume jewelry. So the easier it is to describe what you're selling, and the more specific and benefits-oriented. And benefits focus on the results, okay, not the features. People really don't buy processes and features. I love to use the example of a nose job. When someone gets a nose job, and I had a sister who had her nose done. And what they do, here's the process. I hope you're not eating. What they do is they stick this chisel up your nose and break all the bones. See, it's not pleasant, is it? And flush all that stuff out, and then they kind of do some surgical stuff to reshape your nose. Okay, now if somebody tells me that, I'm not going to buy a nose job ever. But if they focus on the end result, that cute little button-up, turned-up nose, you're going to jump for it every time. So don't sell the process. Don't sell the features. Sell the end results. And always think in packages, not services or tasks or lists of things to do. People really don't understand what they need done. For example, I've been using the website designer as an example. For some reason, I'm on website design for some reason. What a web designer really needs to do is inventory what you've got. They need to look at they need to do some market research and look at your competition's websites, see what's not working. They need to go into, color themes and palettes and so many things. Your clients really don't understand what they need. And when you list it as a list, like a menu, they're just thinking things are adding up and they want to start cutting things because they think it's going to be cheaper. They don't really understand why they would need all of that. And by cutting out, the marketing research on your competitions and all the SEO research, They don't understand that what they're really losing is the benefit of anybody ever coming to their website. So, don't leave it to your client to understand the value of what you offer. When you put it in a package and you focus on the results, it's far easier for them to understand the value of what you're giving them. Here's another example. A business identity tune-up package that might include a consultation, a review of existing resources, say their message, their logo files, a strategy session that might include some goal setting, obstacle and challenge identification, and then an action plan for next steps. That whole package might be $1,500. Notice that we're not saying it's 10 hours of work. That's irrelevant. Your client doesn't understand the time it takes to do what you do. Time doesn't really mean anything in the package. And here's a tip. Always, always, always think of what your target clients are struggling with, what problems they want solved, what's their biggest pain, and then just create the package to solve that one thing. Always think results. For example, we use this business identity tune-up package. Obviously, their problem was that they were not being seen the way they wanted to. Perhaps they were attracting the wrong clients, which is a really important thing to address. Are they attracting clients who aren't willing to pay for what they're delivering? Then they need to do a tune-up where they're upgrading their skills. And in a little while, I'm going to tell you how you can get one of my free kits, which actually tells you how to attract and engage higher paying clients. There are 7 secrets and things that you can actually do to attract people who will pay you far more than others. So think of those results that you would like them to get. Step number 3 is ask for help. Remember when I talked about the fellow getting the self-lobotomy? You don't want to do some things yourself. Focus on what you do the best and get help with what you don't. So you've created your package. Step 1 was that you set your money goal, how much money you would like to make. Step 2, we created a package and I used $1,500 as an example. Keep that number in mind. Let's say you decided you wanted to make $5,000 as your money goal for each month. So if you have a package that's $1,500, you need to sell at least 3 packages a month. So who do you need help with to get that done? Step number 3. Maybe you need a VA that can turn the marketing and appointment setting over to. Perhaps this package would be a great joint venture where you can offer your package to augment another expert's program. For example, you could offer this package complete with a snappy benefits and title rich, benefits and results rich title to a business coach. Let's say it was your business identity tune-up package. You can offer it to a business coach to offer to their clients. They get a great one-stop resource to give their clients who are motivated because they're working on their business with a coach, right? You get a great referral, and the client gets to bypass the stress of trying to find someone out on their own to do what they need. Your package fits it. Why? Because you probably talked to the business coach, found out what their clients really, 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 really need, and then you created the solution for it. See how easy that could be? You could probably work with several different business coaches. It's okay. And then step 4 is to set a time frame for yourself. You want to determine a target date that you'd like to shoot for to get this done. One of the big time wasters, like we talked about in our checklist earlier, is not having a date, just letting things kind of go on as you continually tweak them. A date helps to add structure, and it keeps the time frame short. Start with 30 days. Put it on your calendar. Also put milestone dates. Those are the dates as you work up to it. Things that need to happen to make sure you hit your date. If you're shooting for a month, make your milestones weekly and track your progress to monitor how you're doing. Remember to keep them all small, doable, and clearly defined so you don't get discouraged. Then you want to make an official statement. Make it formal. Post it where you can see it. This is your money goal statement. For example, I'm going to earn $5,000 by selling 4 of my business identity tune-up packages for $1,500 each by April 30th. I'm going to hire a VA. I'm going to check out Odesk for low-cost project-based help to get me the marketing message out, to get my marketing message out. It's easy as that. Now tack that up on your wall. And here's the last piece. You want to take action now. Don't tweak it. Just act. You can tweak it later if you need to. But the important thing is completion, not perfection. Just do it. Decide how many people to contact to reach your goal. Don't sit and tweak or second guess yourself. Here's a little tip. Decide on a target number of potential clients to talk to. Remember, marketing is about sharing, so you want to talk to them in order to reach your goal. A good rule of thumb for conversion when just starting something like this is about 50%. That means if you're wanting to sell 4 packages, you'll need to speak to 8 potential clients. That's just talking to 2 people a week. Or 4 people the first 2 weeks, and then you fulfill the last 2 weeks. Keep it simple. But remember, you're specifically telling them about a specific product, and you're being really clear. Think the costume jewelry versus the yard sale approach. Now, I told you I would have a little gift for you. And I talk about this at the beginning of every hour, but I don't usually go into detail exactly what it is. If you'd like to learn more about how to attract and engage higher paying clients, there are some secrets to it, and you can do this. Swing on over to my website, soloprosuccess.com, and download my free Income Accelerator Success Kit. It includes a book called 7 Secrets to Attract and Engage High-Paying Clients. They are very different from your run-of-the-mill, low-paying clients who tend to be thinking they're buying time rather than buying the results that you're delivering. So this is one of the reasons why you want to get away from that time, dollars for hours concept in your business. Because clients really don't understand how long it takes an expert to do something. There's a great story out there about Picasso sitting in a cafe, and a woman asks him to do a sketch of her, and she wants to buy it from him, and he hands her an invoice for $2,000. And she says, it took you 5 minutes. Why should I pay you $2,000? And Picasso replies, it took me a lifetime of study, development, practice. This is what you're selling, not the 5 minutes. In my Income Accelerator Success Kit, you also get a video called The 3 Essential Keys to Charging What You're Worth. This is a little bit of what I'm talking about. With this kit, you'll be all set to start the new type of marketing plan that we're going to start talking about in next week's show. If you'd like a little more help, a little more personalized help, I do limited complimentary business mapping sessions. These are $147 values, but I'm going to do them for you for free if you're interested in getting some extra help. Here's some details on it. What we do is we define exactly where you are right now in your business. What's going on? We get clear on what you want it to be. And then we uncover the hidden obstacles and challenges, maybe the places that you're sabotaging yourself. And then we plot the next steps. Does that mean you need to kind of restructure your business a little bit? Do you need some help creating some packages? Do you need some help with defining who your target market is? Do you need some help with this marketing piece that we're talking about in our new show, Money and Your Marketing Plan? If you're interested in applying for one of those business mapping strategy sessions, go ahead and shoot me an email at Barbara, that's spelled B-A-R-B-A-R-A, at soloprosuccess.com. Again, that's Barbara at soloprosuccess.com. And we'll get you scheduled it's a 30-minute business mapping strategy session. So I hope you got a little bit out of today. It was definitely fun for me. This is one of my favorite concepts. Tomorrow, our guest on the Tuesday edition of Solo Pro Success, which is Entrepreneurs in Focus, is Hazel Palash, who is a great business coach, and she's absolutely a hoot. She's a fun lady, and she has a lot of great experience. Wednesday's show, Solo Pro Radio, is Jackie Babicki Peterson, and she's going to be talking on Smarter, Better, Richer, on how you can turn what you're doing into more money by working smarter. Then I'm here again on Thursday's show, Solo Pro Success, where I'm going to be talking to Morgan Bernhardt of Social Boost. And we're going to be talking about bringing the social back into social media. It's going to be a lot about sharing what you do and your solutions with your specific people, just like I kind of told you about today. And then, of course, we're all back here on Friday for our Friday free-for-all. So be sure to join us again then. And don't forget to don't miss Susan Rich, the marketing coach and wordcraft expert, on Susan Rich Talks, Mondays, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. That's all for now. So thanks for joining me on Solo Pro Radio.